Hello and welcome back to A Slightly Twisted Female. I am your host, Brittany Rue. Welcome back to part 2 of the Julie Jaman and the YMCA transgender policy. As a recap, there was earlier in August 2022, there was a woman in Washington State who swims at the YMCA in Washington State, whose name is Julie Jaman. And as she was showering, she heard a male voice in the women's locker room. Obviously, it's like the scene of a nightmare. I'm really into Mr. Nightmare, which is like a YouTuber who just reads these scary stories that are sent in by users. And I think it's interesting because it's like real scary stories. It's not like, oh, and then the hand rose up and walked its way over a disembodied hand and it choked you. It's like actually scary stuff. It's like people realizing that there's somebody in their house, just real life stuff. And this story sounds so much like the scary stories that are right on that channel, where it's like you're showering and all of a sudden I can imagine like her goosebumps when she realized that she heard a man's voice, within the walls, not through the wall or in another part, but realizing that she hears him like right inside the women's locker room. Came outside, got dressed, probably felt totally nervous, and saw that there was a trans-identifying male wearing female clothing in the women's locker room. And she went up to him and asked him point blank, do you have a penis? Basically saying, because again, if you say, are you a man? You'd be like, I am not a man, I identify as a woman. If we acknowledge that sex and gender are two different things, then yes, asking, do you have a penis is relevant, because what she's asking is, what is your biology? Because it is your biology that makes you a part of the risk factor for females, children, elder women, all women. And he said it was none of her business, which is BS, because it absolutely is her business. And she demanded that he leave, and he refused. Turns out he was an employee of the YMCA, so she went and got help from another employee. And rather than acknowledge her concerns, this woman started being very accusatory towards Julie and called her a bigot, said she was being discriminatory, said she needed to leave, and in fact, they were going to call the police. Then Julie went a step up and went to the CEO of the YMCA, who told her point blank that she is now banned from using the facility. She's not welcome back, and it is because of her harassment of the trans-identified male employee, and I guess the other employee, because she was rightfully upset. So let's take a look at the coverage. I want to look at, I'm a little bit tired. Sorry, I did take a really long time getting back on the stream. So we're just going to watch a few things together. I wanted to look at this Young Turks Investigates coverage of it, and it just shows the liberal spin on these stories is so wrong. It's so unethical. It's so wrong. It's bad journalism. It's immoral. It's a disgrace against our culture. It's a disgrace against our community. We shouldn't tolerate it. And when you really look at this, it's disgusting. These outlets absolutely do not deserve our support whatsoever. Somebody said that, the employees at the YMCA, since enacting the transgender policy, were just looking for any reason to make a big scene about this and hope it would go viral. And they probably were. And they targeted, this woman who, again, they knew eventually there was going to be a complaint. And they were so excited to be, the hero of their own story, where they stand up and say, not today, you're not going to be a bigot on our watch. We are going to stand up for the trans community. And, but thank God, again, this is we're at a point now where we've reached the peak where people are tolerating this, and we're starting to come out to the other side where they're not having immediate support. People are like, no, we're tired of this. What are you talking about? This is a reasonable thing that this woman said, and the pushback has been glorious. So she took it all the way to a town hall. We're going to take a look at the town hall. We're going to look at some of these news coverage, and I want to take a look at the press conference that she held that I was so when I was looking up images for the thumbnail. The first image that popped up is the one that I used on my thumbnail. Is an image of Julie Jaman, the woman at the center of the story, speaking, and in the background you see Gabrielle Clark and Jennifer Thomas, like two of amazing American servant. I love Jennifer. Oh my God, Jen is like, she's everywhere at once, and she organizes so much of it. I mean, I really believe Jennifer is like the American Posey Parker. She really is, just in the sense that she's the one setting up all these organizations. She's very on the ground, boots on the ground with it, setting stuff up, putting things together, going from city to city. Shout out to Jen. You're amazing. Shout out to Gabby. Her speech was awesome. You have Known Heretic, like I said, who was streaming the event, who went and interviewed Julie, Genevieve Gluck, Anna Slatz, who run Redux Mag. Their clip of the event went viral. They were booted off of Twitter. Everybody protested. They got back onto Twitter. This has been amazing. It's been so amazing to see all of the American turban like stand up, and it just makes me feel good, because I was checked out for like the last 2 weeks. I've just been like on vacay and just sort of unplugged, and I see that when I take a break, it's like people are still going. People are still running with it. I love it. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so excited for Pittsburgh, which is coming up on September 4th, Speaker's Corner. I mean, the momentum is really picking up in the United States. We're finally starting to like have a network. What was difficult about organizing in the US versus, somewhere like the UK. The UK is so much smaller. It's a more tight-knit community that, people can travel more easily. But we're finally getting it together. We have a few people who have the time and the means to go from city to city. People are, we have Katie Jean in the Midwest. All of us out here in, the Northeast. You have, Exelanzic out west. There's just, it's really great. It's really exciting just to see how much people are organizing. So let's get into this clip. I'm really hot. I'm going to pause it for 1 second just so I could turn on the air, because I'm like sweating and having really bad hot flashes. Hold on for 1 second. Okay. All right. I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh my God. I'm like sweating like crazy. It's so hot. Okay. Let's say this was gross. This it's like Young Turks Investigate, so I guess it's like some subsidiary channel or whatever little like side channel that they have. Fox is exposed for disgusting coverage of transphobic incident. Yo, they need to chill. They have no idea how much they're hurting their own cause. When you call everything transphobic, you use this like real hyperbolic language that it just is not lining up with the reality of the situation. That's what's starting to pique people. People are like, well, what are you talking about? Transphobic, exposed, disgusting. Come on, bro. All right, just watch. It's gross. Oh, no, let me switch my mic. Okay.
And if you complain to the YMCA about their genitalia and what they're dressed like.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
And if you complain to the YMCA about their genitalia and what they're dressed like, you might get yourself banned. It's what exactly happened to an 80-year-old woman in Washington State.
Fox News is about to cover a story about an 80-year-old woman harassing a transgender woman at a local YMCA pool in Washington. Listen to how they frame this story versus the reality of what actually happened.
Here's a scene. Democrats used to stand up for women, but now they can't even define one. And as a result, you have 80-year-old Julie Jaman, who said she was banned from a pool and locker room facility that was managed by the Olympic Peninsula YMCA out in Port Townsend, Washington. The YMCA put out a statement basically saying, we're not going to tolerate the bias, discrimination, or hatred. And of course, in Washington state,
Hatred. 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 So if any man on the street, again, you got to understand what this policy does is it makes it so women used to be able to see, across the board, any man who comes in for whatever reason on some like weird stuff, you could automatically, it's like we had the authority to say, excuse me, this is a women's room. If you're looking for the men's room, it's down the hall. And everybody could be on alert. This makes it so you're not allowed to say anything to any man, period. Any man could walk up off the street. And also, who's the YMCA is going to screw themselves because they can't even, again, they no longer have the right to exclude any man at this point. Any man. What makes a transgender identity, it's an intangible thing. It's a claim. Oh, trust trans people that they know who they are and all this sort of stuff. So now we can't say no to anybody. It's enraging.
the law allows anyone to use a locker room, changing room, or bathroom that aligns with their gender identity. So they're basically saying we're doing what we have to do, except, of course, protect women who don't want to see this.
Unbelievable. That guy should be ashamed of himself behind the mask.
Here's what actually happened. This woman, Julie Jaman, walked into the women's locker room and immediately asked a transgender worker if she had a penis, because she assumed the worker was going to molest the children. Jaman complained to another worker who told her that she was being discriminatory. In response to this,
okay, this is so disingenuous. And again, hey, Young Turks, why don't you check your facts? You don't get to just make stuff up so that it'll fit your narrative. She was bathing, taking a shower, already felt vulnerable. It is a blood-curdling feeling to be showering vulnerable, naked, and you expect to be safe, and then you hear a man's voice right near you, and you're like, oh my God, and then you kind of like, shoot, I don't want to go out there. Is there a guy out there? And then you're like peeking around. You're like, is there like a man in here? Is he supposed to be that feeling of fear, that sinking fear? She didn't just march in and be like, oh, let me find, I heard you have a trans person around here. Let me find him. Let me add him. Again, I don't think that this woman was expecting this to happen. And demanding, do you have a penis? Yes. Genitalia, hey, by the way, is pretty fucking relevant. When we're talking about changing rooms, why did we segregate it in the first place? Real question. Why did we segregate? Why don't we just change in front of men? Why has it always been understood that in terms of changing stuff where you're sexually vulnerable, that we needed segregated spaces? How dare you? God, it's so enraging. If you're not mad yet, you're either not listening or you just have some chip is missing in your understanding of how the world works. Or even worse and more likely, you have some insidious reason to want to support this.
Jaman began picketing the pool for 2 straight days with a petition and even took this matter up with the CEO for the local YMCA. The CEO says that a worker told her that Jaman yelled, quote, "You're going to stick your effing penis in those little girls." Jaman is denying that she said that. According to a YMCA spokesperson, Jaman was permanently banned from the pool for her abusive, harassing, and obscene language towards staff. Does this
obscene, harassing language? Yeah, because she was being gaslit. If any of you, and I'm sure all of us at some point in our lives have been gaslit, where something happened, and this is like abusive people do this, where they'll do something to you and you check them on it and they're like, no, I didn't. Now you're the problem. How dare you come? And they flip it around onto you. And it's so upsetting because you're like, no, that's not, you know what happened. How are you going to say? And they're masters at it. It is a horrible feeling. Again, it's like the Twilight Zone. If anybody ever watched the Twilight Zone from back in the day, it was like this scary, weird sense where like there's a person who's like in some part of the world, wherever, where it's almost this like coordinated, weird, sort of inverted reality. And everybody is agreeing to the weird inverted reality, and you're looking for one sane person. You're like, this can't be, there's got to be somebody in here that I could talk to who has a brain. And they're all like, oh, what do you mean? Oh, wow, did you, this is a woman. Yeah, women have penises. And of course you get upset. It's infuriating. And be told, oh, you have to be thrown out, as if she's the criminal, as if she's the problem. If she used language that was angry, that was confrontational, that was aggressive, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. This is an 80-year-old woman who's being told that she has no right to assert her right to privacy, has no authority over, who can come into spaces where vulnerable children and women are. And because you guys decided that the rules of society are just different, and you're going to tailor everything to your desires so that you can be affirmed in your identity and your fetish. No, we don't consent. I don't know, like, who do we gotta go to let you know? No, we don't consent. We've got Joe fucking Biden up there, hanging on by a thread, burbling out some pre-prepared speech talking about we support transgender youth because 30 years ago, Joe Biden was saying, like, oh, who cares about all this LGBTs? It's a distraction. Yeah, we have more important things to vote on. Why are we voting on another LGBT bill? Now he's like, oh, transgender people deserve to have their dignity respected. Hate will not be taught. That's not hate. That isn't hate. You know what's hateful? You know what's hateful? Exposing little girls to predatory behavior. You know what's hateful? Grooming little girls from a young age to be used to this. To think that it's normal to have men who have a cross-dressing fetish to just waft in and out of their spaces and watch them and sit there and try to role play along with them and use them as a prop in their own fantasy. And you want to get to them early so that they think that it's normal, so that their guard is brought down, so that they can be primed and ready to be transgressed against when the time is right. Yeah, I think that's the more hateful thing. It's common sense that this if this is a real condition, if there really are some people who really think that I'm really a woman trapped in a man's body, whatever the fuck that means, do you really think it's that common that there are so many men who all of a sudden are interested in getting involved in this, and these guys don't put in any effort? And now the rhetoric is, we don't owe you femininity. It doesn't matter that I have a beard and that I have balls and that I have every other marking of a man, because I don't owe you femininity. Being a woman is this abstract, undefinable thing. This is a predator's movement. This is advanced, complex, large-scale grooming. And people have been, it's funny, and when I was growing up, you always hear these like kind of crazy tinfoil hat types talking about how, oh, there's all these pedophiles in high places. It's pedophiles trying to take over the world, all this sort of stuff. And you're like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that they're like predators, but like calm down a little bit. And then you're like, it's that moment where you're like, oh shit. That all that crazy, conspiracy theory stuff is coming true. It's coming. Then you get the fucking Young Turks. You're like, oh, this is disgusting hatred, bigotry. Keep up with the hyperbolic bullshit. Keep up with the real extreme language. People are getting tired of you. It's happening. It's happening. You're exposing yourselves. Getting fucking tired of it.
Does it really sound like this woman is the victim here? The community sure doesn't. Many residents rallied behind the transgender worker at a...
Oh, hold on. So in this clip, they try to spin it as if like nobody agrees with Julie. Like, they always want to try to make it look like, oh, everybody agrees with this. She's just crazy. And which is such bullshit. First of all, ratio, go on Twitter. Look at any thread about this fucking ratio. Okay, here, let me explain. Let me show you what I mean by ratio, shall we? All right, look. This video has 10,235 views. Okay, let's take a look at how many. Oh, 537 likes out of 10,000 views. Fucking 215 comments. And clearly they're deleting comments. Clearly. Very, very, very clearly. God, there's like an app where you can see how many dislikes there are. I really, 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 really wish I had that installed.
local city council meeting.
And I would like to point out to anyone that is feeling unsafe and is listening in to conversation.
What actually...
Wait, hold on. Sorry.
And basically,
I want you to hear that part again.
Transgender worker. This woman, Julie Jaman, walked into the women's locker room and immediately asked a transgender worker if she had a penis, because she assumed the worker was going to molest the children. Jaman complained to another worker who told her that she was being in response.
Again, the issue is whether it's this person. The problem is that we don't have time to sit there and differentiate and distinguish between which men are safe. And you know what? Frankly, I don't think it's all that far off base to assume that there is something predatory about a specific individual who insists on transgressing against the boundaries of women. I don't think it's all that off base. Even if she did specifically accuse him of being interested in molesting children, I don't think that's all that off base. If there's a man who insists on transgressing the boundaries of unwilling, protesting, uncomfortable, nervous, and scared women who are saying, no, we don't want this. Please stop. No, we don't want you here. Yeah, there is something wrong with that man. I am more afraid of that man than I am. I would take my chances picking any random guy off the street and being like, here, let me just be forced to be alone with him, than being forced to be alone with a man who insists on transgressing against the boundaries of women. We're not allowed to say no anymore. I thought no meant no. I thought consent was king. Whatever happened to me too? What? I guess women weren't lucrative enough for the liberals. Wasn't lucrative enough for the Democratic Party. Wasn't lucrative enough for the lefties. Women weren't bringing in the bucks. So, let's get this real marginalized group. And again, that these big, men with a lot of money are obviously going to back, because, again, at the end of the day, all of this opens doors for further predatory behavior. Once we deny women's right to say no, once women are not allowed to say no, set boundaries for themselves, then all else can get through the door. Anything goes. This isn't the end. This isn't the end. They're still fighting. This isn't all that they want. They want more and more and more. And if you watch the progress of this movement, they always want more. It's never enough.
In response to this, Jaman began picketing the pool for 2 straight days with a petition and even took this matter up with the CEO for the local YMCA. The CEO says that a worker told her that Jaman yelled, quote, "You're going to stick your effing penis in those little girls." Jaman is denying that she said that. According to a YMCA spokesperson, Jaman was permanently banned from the pool for her abusive, harassing, and obscene language towards staff. Does this really sound like this woman is the victim here? The community sure doesn't. Many residents rallied behind the transgender worker at a local city council meeting.
And I would like to point out to anyone that is feeling unsafe and is listening in to conversation.
I'm sorry, how typical? Can we just like real quick? How typical? Like how typical? How embarrassing for women. You are a clown. What are you doing, ma'am? What are you doing? Who are you rallying for? You're taking the side of men over elder women and children? Shame on you. Shame on you. Your children, if your mother, will be ashamed of you. Your grandmothers will be ashamed of you. Shame on you, you enabler. Abusers cannot get away for long without the support of enablers, and you are the reason that they could get this far. You are culpable. You are complicit. You are a conspirator. How dare you?
That the only person that has made children feel afraid is not going to be present anymore at the pool. The only person that has discriminated against someone is no longer allowed in the pool.
Personally, I've been around trans people for like decades now. So it's
You have? What do you really? Wow. You've known that many trans people? Like, what are you talking about? Unless you work at some like trans center, because last time I checked, from every even conservative estimate, it is a very, very teeny tiny, minute portion of the population. Oh, but you know a whole bunch of them, right? It's interesting how it went from being a very tiny, small, minute portion of the population to now it's just they're everywhere. You don't think that's suspicious? It's not, no alarms going off. It's not connecting with you. All the virtue signaling. They were so excited to get up and, oh, look at me. I'm the most accepting. Look, look at me. I have all the points. I can't wait to post this for my Facebook friends. Oh, they're going to see that I've got tons of trans friends, and I like black people. I like all kinds of people. I have able privilege. I'm privileged, and I atone for my privilege because I'm like, yo, shut up. You got, oh my God. Shame on all of you.
It's hard for me to understand what the problem is. I've shared a locker room with a trans person, probably more than I know of. And
that's part of the whole like delusional thing. It's like you've been around trans people and didn't even know it. Like, bro, false. Yo, even the few like Tims that I've known who like from afar maybe pass. Yo, once you're up close, you're clocking them every single time. Even Eden, the one who's like hella, pornified. Trust me, it's the smell. It's surgery can only do so much. A man is a man. You know what they look like.
it's just really never been a threat. Have any of you ever said, even those of us in our 40s, if it wasn't for this aching back or bad knee or cataracts, I'd still think I was 35.
Oh, listen to how stupid this analogy is. Listen how fucking stupid it is. Hold on.
I'd still think I was 30 aching back or bad knee, or if it was 40s, if it wasn't for this aching back or bad knee or cataracts, I'd still think I was 35, 25. Sometimes our bodies hide who we really are. Senior bodies, young bodies, trans bodies that look one way but feel absolutely different. Instead of telling people who...
So you really get it. Wow. Bro, that was the worst analogy. Yo, I'm sorry, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Thanks very much for your comments. Time is up. Like, you gotta get down because, God, we are all now stupider for listening to that. Holy shit.
Who they are based upon appearance? Let's ask people who they are and trust them to know themselves.
Yeah. Let's trust them. Let's trust the predatory men, to be honest. Like, you know what? No, you're right. I'm actually just in here because, you know, I have a voyeuristic fetish and I'm here and I have, you know, some pedophilic tendencies. You're absolutely right, ma'am. Yeah, no, I'll excuse myself. Yeah, let's trust them to tell us, right? Because that's how the world works. Like, what are you, 2? My 4 and 5-year-old understand that people lie. So you really got, I mean, you, like, does somebody have to, like, help you get dressed in the morning? I'm, like, really confused because you must really have some screws missing if you think that that's a logical thing to say.
And above all else, always, always be kind.
There it is, folks. You hear what she said? And above all else, always, always be kind. You know what that's code for? Be kind. Be kind means be quiet or there'll be consequences. Don't speak up. Shut up. It's so similar. How similar is it to like the predatory boss who's like molesting his like, you know, assistant or secretary or something? And it's always like, if you tell anybody, don't forget. Don't say anything. There'll be consequences. Or like the creepy uncle who like likes to come in your room and like play with you at night. It's like, just remember, don't say anything to mom and dad. You know it's our little secret. That's what just be kind means. Stay quiet. Stay in your place. Up. It's so enraging that women are caping for this. Fuck Young Turks. Fuck all those women who spoke. You're all gross. Gross. Alright. Shout out to Known Heretic, Amy Souza. So, hold on. Let's take a look. Oh, and if you guys can, like, let these people know as I go through, I'll try to let them know that, like, I included them in my videos. But, you know, if any of you happen to be around their way, just be like, hey, Britt put you on the stream if you're interested to check it out. I feel like I should go around and tell everybody, but then I get tired and lazy once I log off. Okay. All right, Amy. Let's see. Amy's been like killing it lately. She's been like on fire with just hosting these streams. She's a great host. I saw some like I had to check somebody in her comments. Some dumbass was like, why do you feel the need to host these events? I really don't see like what your purpose is. Why do we need? And I was like, bro, what are you talking about? First of all, we're not the UK. And actually, the UK does the same thing. They have Kelly J. Keane who broadcasts all of their events. The problem is, no, you're right. Amy is not, flowing with money and time and can't fly to every single event. But she has this really awesome system that she set up where people send her the feed and she live streams it. And it's great because she's like the one-stop shop now for like watching this stuff. Go follow Known Heretic. She does like a lot of the streams with like the events. Bro, I like you guys. people I don't know like what if some people are just professionally miserable, but like some of the comments like these women are doing a lot. I saw a lot of like other like nitpicky comments, nitpicking like Jennifer Thomas and just Gabrielle, like a lot of other women who are organizing these events, Katie Jean and stuff. And it's like, do you guys not understand? A lot of these women, like, there's no blueprint for this. Don't you guys understand? We're forging a new path. There's no blueprint for how to deal with this. We've never had anything like this before. We're coming up with systems. These women are killing it. They're busting their ass and they're doing great work and they're not getting paid. They're taking time away from their families, their lives, and they love it. They're passionate. It's exciting. It's fun, but it's a lot of work. You're putting, the abuse is real, and I'm really proud of like my American turfs right now. I really, really am. You guys have been amazing. I get so amped up when I see like major news organizations like mention you guys or like have a picture with you guys or interview with you guys. I get so excited. It makes me like I'm like, yes, like let's go. Like we're doing it, you guys. They're paying attention. This is not for nothing. I promise. I really feel like this is all going to pay off. Sometimes it feels insurmountable. I remember when I first started the channel, I'm like, God, there are so many of them. There are so many of them, and no one's listening to us, and we look like the bad guy, and it's like, it's just frustrating, but we're moving together. We're moving this rock together. Every hand on that rock that is pushing, we are moving it, you guys. Progress is being made, I promise. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but I swear to God, you guys, the tide is beginning to change. All right. Yeah, so Amy, check it out. I think she had an interview with Julie. We'll do a real quick clip, but okay, let's see. She's got really great interviews. Alex, Coach Linda Blade. That was a really I watched that one, and the one with Alex is good. Oh, there's Gabby. All right. Oh, I love Jen. I love Jen. Look, this is Jen. Jennifer Thomas. Hold on. Where is that? Where is she? There she is, right here in the bottom, like right here. I love her. She's so like, she's also, I said like Gabby's like my type of person. Her with the hat. Jen's like amazing. I love her. I remember like I like saw her. She was like kind of like coming in like carrying all these signs and had all this stuff and like flicked a cigarette and was like coming up the steps of like the Harrisburg. She's like, where to the thing? And I was like, hey, I'm here for like the like, our like the sports thing. She's like, oh, okay, well, good, we could use you too. And she's like, she's really funny. I love her. It's so exciting just to see the like passion in a lot of these women. It's really proud of everybody. I really, really am. Where the hell is hold on, sorry. All right. Oh, here we go. So, all right. So the hashtag for this whole like thing is hashtag let Julie swim. Because again, we shouldn't be pushed out of spaces. It's like either like consent to having your boundaries transgressed against, consent to being sexually harassed, or else you're not allowed in. It's like it's like the whole Steve or what was it, the Harvey Weinstein thing. It was like, okay, you're either gonna let me have sex with you and use you and fondle you and penetrate you and touch you, or else you're not getting the part. Do you want to be an actress or not? Didn't you come all the way out here from Alabama? If you want to be famous, if you want to get the part, you're gonna let me do what I want, or you gotta go. That's the same. This is what this is. It's saying we have to either tolerate abuse, sexual harassment, because make no mistake, this is institutionally protected sexual harassment and sexual abuse of women. And we either have to quietly accept it, let men watch us. This used to be a crime. It was a sex crime to watch women undress against their will. That is a sex crime. And they're telling you that you have to allow men to watch you undress, watch you while you're vulnerable, or else you need to get out. You're gonna stay home. You're gonna have your lives ruined. They're gonna call up at your job, demand that you are fired. You either comply or you face the consequences. That's the message of just be kind. That's what they really mean. All right, let's take a look at this. Yay!
You're live.
We're live. Okay.
Oh, yay! I love them! I love them! I love them!
I am my mother's savage daughter. I run through the 50 president's snow. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice.
I want to cry. I love you guys so much. I love you guys. Like, I love you guys. I'm so proud of you.
We are our mother's savage daughters, the ones who run barefoot, cursing sharp stones. We are our mother's savage daughter. We will not cut our hair. We will not lower our voice.
These are so cute.
All right, thank you everyone who is attending here today. My name is Amy Souza. You are watching my live stream if you are online. If you are here in person, you are seeing me live. We are here in support of Julie Jaman, an 80-year-old woman who was banned from the YMCA for standing up for her own instincts, for self-protection, for standing up for women and girls. I am here today as a women's rights activist, as a rape survivor, as a friend to Julie, and as an advocate for all women and girls. I am here to speak for the sex-based rights of women and girls as fully embodied, whole human beings. We deserve respect for our sex and boundaries around our bodies. We deserve to center the needs of our bodies, and we deserve for those needs to be taken seriously politically. I want to talk to you today about sexism.
Oh my god, it like gives me chills. I don't want to steal her whole video, so I'll post links. Go watch all of their I'll post links. Make sure you check out Amy's channel. And I'm going to do a little clip of each of their speeches, and then let's see if we can see like any of the rabid TPAs in the background.
Miss Julie Jaman, the one that we have all gathered for here today. We're all here today for all of this. I'm the old lady. Hello, everybody.
I love it. I love like ownership. Yeah, I swear to God, the most like remarkable figure in all the world, and certainly of all humanity, is the crone. It is the woman who survived. You know, the woman who lived. I mean, to survive as a woman, to make it through so many iterations of our lives, through our changes, and it's like, you know, I said, it's like I'd be so lucky that I make it to my turn, you know, and the way that we just disrespect elder women in our society, in our culture, it is so vulgar. It's so vulgar, but it makes sense because honestly, some of the most, I think, powerful and wise people in our culture are elder women. And I think when younger women have access to elder women and have elder women in their lives and strong connections with elder women that aren't just their mothers or just their grandmothers, but
all elder women, then, I mean, could you imagine the sort of support that we would have, the sort of strength we would have? They have to keep us divided. They have to convince us that we're somehow enemies to each other, or I one thing I love about this whole thing, and that I'm grateful for, you know, of all of the horrors and the suffering that's had to happen, look at women coming together. Look at us coming together. Look at us reviving feminism. Look at us reviving an interest in and resurrecting the village, being there for each other. You know, they not only did they not erase the definition of woman, but they solidified it. They made us even more fervent, more strong, more rooted in our identity as women, that we are unshakable. And we're so much stronger together.
Here we are again to demand respect for human rights of the female sex. Again. You may have read some version of my personal experience.
Do you hear them in the background? Do you hear them screaming in the background? Because God forbid they let this woman speak. Because if this woman is truly able to speak uninterrupted, and if the normal people, the regular people, the passerby is to listen, they will peak. They know this. The trans privileged activists who are screaming to drown out her voice, they know that if they hear us, if people hear us, if our message is able to flow, this will end virtually overnight. They know that. That's why they work so hard to silence us. Have you noticed that none of us show up to transgender events to protest? Why? We don't need to. Nobody's listening to some trans event being like, oh, wow, you know. Let them tell their side. Their side makes no sense. No sense. They know that us speaking is the most dangerous thing. They know that women speaking is the biggest threat to their ideology.
Shower room, and what I saw that day. Wendy Martin, CEO of the YMCA, told me pride posters are adequate to let people know, women know, what to expect. In the shower room, known for 60 years as a female only, one.
Did you hear what she said? So the CEO, like I said before, told her when she said, then there's not adequate, if you're going to have integrated bathrooms where males and females share a bathroom space, you need adequate signage that notifies people of this change. And you need to alert all patrons that, hey, by the way, you're now allowing males in the space and it's going to start at this time, and it gives, you know, people time to prepare for this change and decide if they want to be involved in it or not. And the response that she got from the CEO was that the pride posters that we have pasted around should have been adequate to let you know that this is how we were going to run this policy. This is so unacceptable. And a lot of YMCAs receive federal funding. And yeah, or I don't know if it's federal funding or state funding or whatever. They receive some sort of like taxpayer money, whether it's in the form of scholarships or whatever. But yeah, no, we absolutely have a right. They're not super private entities. They're private, but like they're also run on public funds and things like that. We have every right to speak up, every right to demand that no, we have a say in this.
Will now encounter men who identify as women undressing and showering with female humans. I object. I don't want to be forced to the shower and dress with the opposite sex present. I'm now accused of
That's
discrimination.
Gabby.
I have been
I love
publicly
Gabby.
humiliated. My rights and dignity have been trespassed. I am no longer allowed to swim. This story has morphed into a big mix of gender ideologies and politics, as you can well see. So complicated and forcing us to speak publicly on the most intimate details of our bodies, our health, the essential mysteries of the female human, and the long, long history of why women and children need a safe place. In our lineage, biologically speaking, there are two sexes with form, function, and development. But in 2016, the Washington Human Rights Commission established that any person claiming to be other than
And yet she persisted. And yet she persisted. She did not back down. We don't back down. We don't let them intimidate us. You keep going. You stay the course. You don't give up. Oh, look at Sonia. Look at Sonia's in the chat. Oh, hey. That's right. Solidarity with women. We will not be silenced. I love seeing you guys. Like, I love seeing even just like the names in the chat. Women who aren't able to show up in person, but they're always showing up in the live streams. And I see you guys across platforms. I love it. It makes me feel so good knowing that like there's solidarity here. There's a community here. You know, we're connected across space, across the globe. My God, some of you are in Australia. Some of you are in Brazil, in London. You guys, we're everywhere. And we're together in this. It's awesome. It's awesome. That's what they created. That's what this made. It made us a movement. It brought so many of us together that otherwise would probably never have any reason to connect. That's the beauty in all of this, you guys. And I'm really, really proud of everybody. I really am. This is amazing. This is remarkable. And look at Gabby standing beside her, stepping up and just putting a hand on her shoulder and just letting her know, I'm here. Keep going. You got this. That is powerful. Keep going. Fuck them. Fuck them. Keep going. You got this. You got this. Good job,
the Human
Gabby.
Rights Commission established that any person claiming to be other than the birth sex is entitled to enter any locker rooms, changing rooms in Washington State, no matter how it is designated. As it stands, the YMCA has taken away the shower dressing room area
You hear
from
these men in the
female
background?
units and does not provide an alternative. Water makes this planet sparkle in this solar system. Besides surviving,
Pay attention to these people. Yo, we need to expose anybody. Take a screenshot, somebody. Hold on, where was it? Wow. Someone take a screenshot.
the birth sex is entitled to enter any locker rooms, changing rooms in Washington State, no matter how it is designated. As it stands, the YMCA has
What are you
taken
gonna
away
do
the
about
shower dressing room area
Yay,
from
Sonia.
female units and does not provide an alternative. Water makes this planet sparkle.
Right there. Hold on. Like, we really need to start, like, exposing the shit out of them. Like, you're gonna come and harass an elderly woman who's speaking up about her concerns? What's wrong with you? No, really, what's wrong with you? How dare you? Who are you? Get out of here. Don't touch them. They were pushing our equipment. I mean, these people are like, and again, all of this institutional capture has given them permission to behave this way. It's uncivilized. It's absurd. It is absurd. And it's totally tolerated. It's totally acceptable for them to just behave like awful, like monstrous. Good. Keep talking, Julie. Good job, Gabby. Look at Gabby behind her. I love that, yo. I love her saying, like, standing behind her and just being like, you got this. You got this. You're okay. We got you. You're not alone. That's huge. Just knowing that you're not alone. Knowing that people are standing beside you. Other women are with you. Keep going. It's like in birth. When I was, as a birth doula and working, and working in midwifery and working with women, again, you don't know the difference between a woman-centered birth, a woman-supported birth. Even me, the first time I gave birth at home, and I was nervous, and I just remember looking up, and I was surrounded by women. I had women around me who had been with me through my whole pregnancy, and they were like, you can do this. Your grandmothers are with you. The spirits of all the women. You know what my doula said? She leaned in and whispered to me. We both, I love her. Like, we ended up going into business together. We had started, like, a birth business together. She was my doula. I was her doula. We were friends for many years. We still are in touch. And I remember there's one point where I was like, I can't. I was like, I can't. I can't do this. Like, I can't. And she was like, you can. You can. She was like, all your grandmothers did it. You can do it. And she said the spirits of all of your grandmothers, all of your ancestors are in the room with you right now. She was like, look around. They're all here. And it was like, I like felt that. I felt that. And I looked up and it was her and it was my midwife and it was my midwife's assistant. And I was just with women. That's what doula means. It's a Greek word. It means with woman. When we're there for each other, I mean, we can keep going. We can do hard things. I'm really proud of you guys. It's so emotional. All right, let's hear it.
In this solar system, besides survival, humans have endless water within.
Good job, Gabby. Gabby's like gangster too. There's Judy. Look at it. I love seeing you guys. I'm sorry. I got to stop banging on this thing. Judy C is in the look. I love seeing you guys pop up in the chats. It's like the whole crew is here. I love the support. Look, Judy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't know where she keeps going, but I love it. You're allowed to assault us. Good job. We're responding back. Women's rights are human rights. Women's rights are human rights. Love it. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at them. They're monsters. Look at this little gremlin. Look at Gabby. I wish Gabby was my mom. I feel like women like that, like these like strong looks, she's always like dressed really nice, like looks like she could go into like any like meeting or like meeting with the principal, but like still has that like don't F with me attitude. Like I love it. Gross. An 80-year-old woman. Bro. Oh, God, I can't wait. I'm sorry, I can't wait for my boyfriend to get home. Because, my God.
Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights.
Look at this. Look at these people. Look at, bro. How raised you people? Who raised you people? If that was my grandmother, she is our grandmother. The same way that all children are our children. These are our mothers. They're our grandmothers. I don't care if they've never given birth a day in their life. These are our women. You're not going to fucking touch her. You're not going to touch her. My God, what's wrong with people? When did this start being okay? When did it start being okay to transgress against little girls? When did it start being okay to assault old women? And still, the mainstream says that you have the moral high ground. Is that where we are? That's what we're fighting right now. This is so real. This is crazy to me. God, it always makes me wish I was there. Yo, I swear to God. I'm gonna start showing up with people. I'll bring people who can like keep this under control because, yeah, no. And like I said, not like escalate violence or anything like this, but like who will, create a barrier. I'll bring, like, listen, on some really real shit, I'll bring some men that will create a barrier that they're not going to want to breach. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that. I can't wait for Hakeem to get home. I swear to God, yo. I swear to God. We'll never do a speaker's corner without like a whole fucking wall of people standing in between us so that we can speak peacefully. I promise you once that man is back, like this shit will end. This is not gonna happen. We're gonna have peaceful speakers corners.
And does not provide any alternative. One makes this planet sparkle in the solar system. Besides survival, humans have endless water rituals. Swimming pools.
Oh, thank you. Reverend Coffin's other son, thank you. And you just donated the other day. I really appreciate you. Shouting back at the... Reverend Coffin's other son says, shouting back at the Troons is all you can do when they spit venom. Trans rights are men's rights to invade women's spaces. Thank you. And honestly, God, men who get it, and don't just get it from the sense of like, oh, it's weird and oh, I don't want to sleep with, a trans woman, I want a real woman, but who like really get it from like a feminist perspective. Like I really do appreciate your solidarity and support. Like it means a lot. It really does. And thank you so much for your contribution. That's really, really generous of you. Sonia says 1,000 families are going to sue the NHS in the UK for mutilating their children with drugs and surgeries. It's coming. The tide is coming, and my God, that's going to be a tsunami. Good for them. I know that these families are suffering, and I really don't want to add insult to injury, but like part of me also wants to be like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking handing your children over? But I also understand that they have like an emotional gun to your head because they always say things like, what would you rather, a dead son or a living, trans daughter, and things like that. They do the same. Oh my God, yeah, it's, but God, women. I just wish that like mothers could enter motherhood with so much more confidence and support to know that you know your child, you know what's best for your child. If there's something that feels wrong about this, take back control. As a mother, as parents, as a father, say that, you know what? I get that you're the expert and whatever, but this doesn't feel right for my family. And I'm going to take back control. And no, you know what? No, thank you. We're not going to go this path. I feel like there are so many things that have interrupted parents in their ability to feel like they really know what's best for their kids. And somewhere along the way that gets interrupted. And there's a variety of reasons for that. We need to plug back in. We need to stay with them every step of the way, not just being reactive once shit is starting to hit the fan. Know that you birthed that child, you grew that child, you know that child. Stay in tune with them the whole way through. Don't lose touch. Don't check out, and then when you tune back in, realize that all these things are happening, all these influences have already gotten to them, and now you're confused. You know your child. We've got to stop giving our kids over to people who don't know them. I always tell my kids, I'm like, I know you. I'm here for you. I've watched you. I know you. You can tell me anything. I'm here for you. I know you better than anybody on this planet, and I always will. I'm never gonna tune out. Trust that I know you. Trust that you don't have to ever hide anything from me or not tell me. I know you. God, it's just sad. It's sad that parents are in a space where they feel so unconfident in themselves that they're taking these suggestions from these doctors and these experts that literally are leading to these horrific consequences. And my heart does go out to so many of these parents who are suffering. I mean, I can't imagine the level of guilt that you're probably living with, how sick you must feel. God, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine how I would feel. Knowing that my child, before they ever got to experience life, before they ever got to experience falling in love and intimacy and, the desire to build a family and all of these things that come with adulthood, all these gifts that come with surviving childhood and entering, adulthood and being sexually mature and just having clipped those wings before they could even fly with it. I can't imagine the guilt. But thank God something is being done. I can't. That's going to be another stream. I want to really get into those lawsuits and everything that's at stake and what we're looking at. Let's really track that legal movement that's coming.
Creating women. You can see why it's so necessary to have safe spaces for women. This is truly an embarrassing subject. Or reconfigure the current roster to accommodate the approximately 1% of people who don't.
Look at Jen. Look at Jen. I love Jen. Jen always has a nice blazer on. I love her right here. Don't get it twisted. She's so badass. I love her. She just gets shit done. And we're always losing Jen. It's always me and Connie being where did Jen go? Jen and Connie are the funniest duo of Connie's always oh yeah, I always lose to Jen. Where did Jen go? And then Jen's I don't even look for Connie anymore because I just lose her all the time. And I'll find her when I find her. They're these they act old ladies who have grown up together their whole lives and are just I love them together. They are an amazing team. And Jen does so much for the American movement. Right here, Jennifer Thomas does so much for this movement. So much. She is on the ground. She is going where she needs to go. She's flying, getting in the airplane. She's amazing. And a lot of stuff she's just kind of making it up as she goes along. Again, we don't have blueprints for this. We're just trying to pull this stuff together. We're just doing it. It's imperfect. Sometimes it's messy, but we're getting it done. She's getting it done. These women are really doing great things. And I just so much respect and acknowledgement and gratitude to them. I was so happy that, they're the ones who pulled me into getting involved in stuff. They're the ones who are really making it happen, and I just get invited, and I'm so grateful to be a part of all of their hard work. It's really them, they're doing a lot, and I'm I'm so grateful to see, you know, these American women, and we're taking the lead, we're taking the baton from, you know, Turf Island. You guys really set the tone. Posey Parker, Turf Island. I mean, you guys really started you know, when I say that we don't have a blueprint, that's not true. You guys gave us a blueprint. So much of how we're doing things is modeled off of the way that you guys have done things, and we've had to tweak things because it's, you know, doesn't perfectly transfer over because of our geography and stuff like that. But I'm just, everybody who's been involved in this, I'm so just grateful to see the way that we're just organizing, and this is so grassroots. So grassroots.
So men's rooms, women's rooms, women's rooms, and then
I feel bad because it's hard to hear her. Look at this. Look at these people. Look at these. This makes them look so bad. This makes them look so bad. If you have to do this to a group of ladies who are getting together, having like a polite little event where they're just speaking up about their concerns, we're not getting loud. We're not like screaming, you know, obscenities and acting thuggish, and we're not wearing black ski masks. Every woman there is showing her face. We're not wearing like Antifa gear. All the trans privileged activists who come are always wearing like face masks, trying to cover their face. We're not afraid to show our faces. We're going to stand on everything we say. We're going to stand on every behavior that we behave, every movement that we make, because we're not here to cause harm. We're here to speak up about things that affect us, deeply affect us. And look at your behavior. Look at the way that you're responding. You're exposing yourselves better than we ever could. Yeah, the Black Panthers. Who came up with that? Was that Menno who came up with that, or was that Posey who came up with that? Either way, it's so funny. Oh, I love you guys. I'm gonna cry. Oh, I love you guys. We are mothers. Oh, I love you guys. I'm gonna cry. I'm so proud of you. I watch as the Watchman says some TRA sexually assaulted that man with the ponytail in blue. Do you have more info on that? Again, everything is alleged, just to be clear. Allegedly. Everything that I talk about in these streams, I gotta start making that like a thing I say in the beginning. Everything I say is alleged. It's stuff that I heard, and this is a developing story. Allegedly. Just as a disclaimer. But I watch as the Watchman. Do you have any more info about that? Hold on, guys. I have to pee really fast, so I'm just going to let it play, and I got to get a tissue. Rather than stop it, I'm just going to let it play for a second. I'll be right back. I got it, Jen. I have a dog! Jaman! Female!
Hello, my name is Jennifer Thomas. I'm today to share my voice with all of you support
Jen has like a Chicago like Midwestern accent, like in the car. I can't do it, but I love it. I love it. And I love when she starts getting like passionate. I love them, you guys. I love it. I love passionate women. I love angry women. And who are like also funny too. Oh my god, I love it. I'm so proud of you guys. This is like such a treat to come back to, like from my break, just to see like all this movement that's been happening. It's really exciting.
Julie, get out of there, Julie! Get out, Julie!
Look at this. Wow. Wow. Look at Gabby holding her. Gabby, you are awesome. Thank you for standing in the gap. But look at this. Look at this. This is assault. These people need to be held accountable. Look at that. They try to like disrupt this stuff and push it.
I got it, Jen.
Wow. 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 They're pushing them. I promise, you guys, listen to me. I promise this is going to change. I promise. I promise I'll bring people who can stand in the gap. And like I said, not who escalate violence or who like pick fights or anything like that, but just like create like a barrier. Oh, I promise. I promise. I promise we don't have to keep doing it like this. This is so wrong. This is so wrong. This is not okay. My God. Look at these women being pushed and their stuff being, God, even an 80-year-old woman. You know, women, older women, women in menopause, and like me, this impacts me, have brittle bones. We're more prone to osteoporosis because estrogen helps with, I guess, like our osteoblasts or something like that. So we're more prone to breaking bones, such as breaking your hip. I know people like joke about it. It's true. Elder women have a very high propensity to breaking a hip. Women die on the operating table for those sort of injuries. That is a life-threatening injury to an older woman. How dare you start pushing them around? You are literally threatening this woman's life. Those are life-threatening potential injuries. Who raised you people? My God. My God. So sick. And these are internet radicalized people. A lot of these people never knew many trans people. This is all from being on Reddit and chat rooms and Instagram and Twitter and get radicalized about this topic. It is a hate crime. Mary Steele says, did they assault her too? Hate crime? Maybe. It absolutely is a hate crime. It is a misogynist, anti-woman hate crime. That's what it is. We don't want to call it a hate crime because they're so commonplace. It would just be like, oh, all of life is a hate crime against women. That's why they don't call male violence against women for sexual purposes and whatever hate crimes, because it's just too common. It would be like, oh, these are hate crimes. These absolutely are. We have to call things what they are. We have to call things what they are. Mesh says we can't push back on this topic on Reddit. Oh, Reddit did a whole overhaul on their policies. You can't say anything now. Anything. I trust me, I've had like 7 different accounts banned on Reddit for like the most minute things. They ban any all gender critical adult human female lesbian or super straight subs there for anti-trans hate and bias. Oh yeah. And also a lot of people who run Reddit are like all into like the weird, again, because that's what happens when you spend like inordinate amount of times online. People who run Reddit are people who are literally like chronically online, who socialize almost exclusively through the internet. You start to have like a distorted worldview, a worldview that lives in abstraction, and where, you know, things like men and women being able to change shape and change sex and change gender is a realistic thing, right? Because that's really only realistic in like a theoretical space. And when you live online, when you socialize exclusively online, then the fantastic can be reality. Or it's, you know, what's it called? Like the cyber reality.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Thomas. I'm here to share my voice.
I love these two women are remarkable. I love these women.
Girls across America are negatively affected by this locker room, bathroom politics. Julie, get out of there, Julie! Get out, Julie!
Okay. All right. This stream is getting a little bit long.
Help serve and protect. They are touching my equipment. They are touching my equipment. They are touching women. They are touching an elderly woman.
Wow.
An elderly woman. That's what you want? You want to
Wow.
get arrested for assaulting on elderly women? That's what you're afraid of. That's what you're afraid of. You guys hate women. You hate women.
Wow. Good for you, Jen. Good for you, Amy. Good for you guys. Good for you. Good for you. This is getting dangerous. Wow. This is getting dangerous. They're like interfering with the equipment. Wow.
We already know this. You know that the YMCA. We know that you know this is a major safeguarding violation. And you know what you did? You went and you did it.
I love Jen so much. I love her. How is this reality? How is this acceptable?
Everybody has the right to privacy, to dignity,
Oh
to
my God.
respect. We're not saying that you can't have yours.
Gabby gets me so hyped up. I can't even. I can't even. She gets me so fired up. She's such a good speaker.
Shit, we just want our own shit. But women that are here, these women fought in the 70s. They fought in the 70s.
Oh, it's such a shame. The connection is so messed up.
We deserve sex-based rights. The sex-based rights
I
to
love
grandmothers and great-grandmothers fought for years to get. We follow the Constitution. We follow American tradition. We follow sex-based rights.
Wow. Judy C. said the cops were across the street watching. This is Washington. This is Washington. Listen, if there is anybody who wants to get involved, the way you can get involved is write letters to the governor of Washington. Let's look up who that is right now. Write letters. If somebody can volunteer to pen a letter and maybe even like, you know, write a template or something, like we need to flood these people. We need to flood them. Let's see, Washington. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Just say this is unacceptable. The footage of what we saw, of how you're or write the police chief. This is unacceptable. Let's see, Washington governor. All right. The governor of Washington is somebody called Jay Inslee. Oh, Democratic Party, of course. Let's see. Can you see this? Oh, God. Jay Inslee. Right to this man. This is unacceptable. This woman is a resident She's a citizen of Washington. She is entitled to police protection. She is entitled to police protection. Where were they when they were being assaulted? Well, she doesn't enjoy the same rights? She doesn't enjoy the same rights? Are you out of your mind? Are you guys crazy? Across the street watching? The police are still across the street watching? Are you crazy? This woman could have died, been seriously, handicapped by this. An 80-year-old woman, it is not safe to push an 80-year-old woman. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? I swear to God, this isn't gonna keep going. I swear to God, I will get like a whole wall of men to stand in between us. Like this has to stop. This is making me so mad. Jay Inslee, this dickhead right here, write him letters, flood him with letters. Be like, what are you doing? You're unfit to serve. If you can't send out a memo telling these police chiefs, also the Attorney General. Who's the Attorney General? Guys, somebody, whenever I post this, if you guys please do me a favor, please, if someone can look up who the Attorney General is, we need the Attorney General of Washington. I want the Governor of Washington, and if they can figure out who is the police chief that was responsible for what's it called? For overseeing this event. Those three people, okay? This is who we need to write letters to. Jay Inslee, who's the Governor of Washington. The Attorney General of Washington, whoever that is. The police chief, and even the DA of that county. So 4 people. I know that's a lot. If you guys can find the DA of that county, the police chief who is responsible for overseeing that event, the Jay Inslee who we have, and the Attorney General of Washington. And if everybody can print out 4 copies of whatever letter, please write a letter. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be complicated. I'll send out, we'll post the addresses, print out 4 copies, send them out to those 4 people. Hold them accountable. Let them know that people are watching and we're tired of seeing, you people have a responsibility to protect these women. You failed. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Coffin's other son. Thank you. Reverend Coffin's other son says, cowards, all of them. If those Tims saw some of their fellow men were there at the pro-women's event, they would back down. Exactly. Thank you, Reverend Coffin's other son. Thank you. I really appreciate your support. And no, absolutely. They will back down. It's easy to bully an 80-year-old woman. You're not strong. That doesn't make you, you're not a big person. You're weak and pathetic if you have to bully, a handful of women, trying to stand around an 80-year-old woman. But I will tell you, I could get this whole place outfitted out. Like we could get like really Philadelphia. I will export Philadelphia. I really will. And you'll see, when you see some like real men who aren't with the fuck shit, just standing in a wall, just creating a barrier again, not engaging with them, not yelling at them, not intimidating them, not getting loud, not getting tough, but just the presence alone, that we're protected, that we have the men who aren't with the fuck shit. You're not going to put your motherfucking hands on anybody, and I fucking wish you would. An 80-year-old woman. All y'all should have gotten dog walked. You fucking dog walked, yo. If that was anyone's grandmother, wow, like you come into the wrong neighborhood and pull that kind of shit, that shit's not gonna fly. You think that like we're so unprotected. We're really not though. People just aren't plugged into what the fuck is going on. But we're plugging people in, my loves. We're plugging people in. And they're gonna start coming. We're going to start bringing people who aren't going to tolerate you putting your motherfucking fucking hands on a group of women trying to have a polite speaking event. And if like all y'all cops don't want to do your jobs, that's all good. That's all good. Back down then. We will handle this ourselves. We will do it peacefully. We will assemble quietly, respectfully. We will observe all of the laws of the whatever park and whatever, permit that we have. We will ensure that we do everything by the book. We won't lower ourselves to them. But we're going to stand up for ourselves. I'm not tolerating this shit. It makes me so furious to see an 80-year-old woman being pushed around. I fucking wish, if that were my mom, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Who raised these people? Alright, oh God, I'm getting tired. Damn, I wanted to do, the stream's getting long. Alright, tomorrow, okay? First thing, I'm going to wake up. We're going to finish this. We still have more to look at. We are going to go through Twitter. We're going to see what Twitter has to say about everything that's going on. Okay? Because Twitter is on fire about this. Twitter is on fire. Okay? It says, Julie Jaman, 80 of Port Townsend, protected little girls in a women's YMCA bathroom from a pervert in a woman's suit watching them. She's brave and good. The mayor, the police, and state government are not protecting her and girls from these perverts. Outrageous. Exactly. Hold them accountable. But please, by tomorrow, tonight, if anybody can get it done, at least get me the names of those other people that I asked for, and I'll put them on the screen tomorrow. Let's start, pointing to them. You are failing in your job. You're not fit to serve. You're not protecting your own constituents. So, I'm going to go to bed soon. Tomorrow, we're going to go through Twitter. We're going to take a look at what Twitter has to say about this, and we're going to look at a couple more news clips. Okay. So this is
I'm doing an interview right now since it's a little quieter.
Is it sound too bright?
I think we're good. So I have a global audience. Most of these people have no idea what's going on in the country they're watching.
So Port Townsend, a little teeny town, 10,000 people, and I go swimming once a week. And I went into our dressing shower room, which is all one room. We have gang showers. They have little curtains on them, little shower curtains, get below. And if you look, you can see what you want to see. I was in there, and I heard a man's voice. I looked out, and there was a man not very far from me by the toilets, wearing a woman's bathing suit. And I asked him, do you have a penis? And he said, it's none of your business. And I said, you need to get out of here. Because there were little girls right there who were pulling down their suits so they could go to the toilet. And he was punching them. Get out of here, I said. A Y staffer came up to me in a red shirt. I said, get him out of here. And she said, that's discrimination. You're out of the pool, and I'm pulling you out. That was it.
Look how crazy it's getting. And they're letting it happen. They're letting it happen. Good for her, yo. Yo, I swear to God, I hope I'm this, with it when I'm 80. I feel like I'm not gonna be because of, being in menopause. So I have this fear that I'm gonna get, early dementia. It's it hangs over my head. But if that doesn't happen and I'm still, with it and I'm still popping when I'm 80, I really hope this is the fortitude that this woman showed. Listen, I'm tired. I'm I can barely this is so late for me. I don't have my kids this weekend, so I'm not going out because I feel like I'm going to die after 9 p.m. But this is my living it up. It's staying up past midnight. Holy shit, it's really late. But the women, she's still coming out. She's not backing down. She didn't see the mob growing and decided to hide. And look at those women creating a human shield around her. That's sisterhood. That's what they're creating. They're making us stronger. They're making us stronger. And we're gonna add the next layer. We're gonna add the layer of men to stand in between that. Because, women shouldn't have to be human shields. That's literally what we have men for. That's literally what we have, especially like big men and, men who are into that sort of shit. You know what I mean? That's literally like that's what they're evolved for, to protect. Let them do it. Let them do it, Let the men who are into that sort of shit, let them stand in between us. This is hard to watch. Part of it is so inspiring, seeing these women showing up and taking up for a woman who deserved. I love this. I love this. When there was a woman out there who needed support, look at you guys showing up. Look at you, Jennifer. Look at you, Gabby. Look at you, Amy. Look at you guys. Look at Redux Mag covering this story. Look at you guys. And look at all of you who are in the stream. Look at Judy C. Look at Sonia. Look at so many of the names who are across platforms following the story. Making sure when you guys are watching stuff, every time you guys watch stuff, you increase the likelihood that these videos are going to be recommended randomly to somebody else. You guys are bearing witness. You're here for it. You guys, part of it is so horrifying and makes me want to scream and break something, but then the other part of it is so fucking inspiring. It's so inspiring. It's so beautiful. It's emotional. My God. It's like I'm crying listening to the three of them sing. It's moving. You guys, this is a movement. A movement is about moving. So proud of everybody. There's so much work still to be done. But we're moving it, you guys. Every hand, one of us can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. But with every hand, every person, little tiny things, ways to chip away at this, we can start to turn this tide. We can save lives. We can protect our children. We can restore our rights. We're well on our way. We're well on our way. Sonia said, I attend protests in Melbourne in a wheelchair and cops stand by while men punch me in the... So, oh my God, Sonia, that makes me very angry. Something about women being attacked and brutalized and it makes my blood boil. I'm so sorry, Sonia. I'm so sorry. We don't have to keep living like this. I'm gonna put people in the gap. I'm gonna help put people in the gap. Good people, good men who know how to take orders, who know how to stand down, who know how to just play their part in a way that they're not escalating things, who can just stand in the gap. That's all we need. Because no, I'm tired of seeing images like that. And the cops aren't going to protect us. That much is clear. That much is clear. We're really on our own for this until this tide changes enough where, it's back to being acceptable to protect women again. We fight. You goddamn right, Sonia. We fight. Oh, and Sonia says, yep, and I would do it again and again. I love you guys. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are all of us are important in this. All of us are important in this. All of us are important. Annie Edison says, terrifying and disgusting. We need to do more. I need to do more. I'm terrified and motivated by this chat, by this video. So am I. I'm so amped up. I can't wait. September 4th, coming to Pittsburgh, Speaker's Corner. I'm very excited. I went to school in Pittsburgh. I went to college in Pittsburgh. I love that city. I know that city. That's my city. That's my second city. It's going to be on and popping. Oh, Fish Steak says Aussie police are shocking. Not long ago, there was a clip of Aussie police giving each other high fives after pepper spraying protesters. Protesters? Which protesters? Reverend Coffin's other son says, "Lead the way, General Brittany. Give soldiers." Listen, I'm following. Listen. I'm not the general here. The general are women like Jennifer Thomas. I mean, you got guerrilla journalists like Genevieve Gluck. The sort of investigative journalism that Genevieve Gluck is doing is next level. The stories that she's finding, the things that she's single-handedly uncovering. She's got Anna Slatz, who's so good with media. Those two are a powerhouse too. That team, Redux Mag. Watch Redux Mag. Like, wait, don't sleep on them. I swear to God, like that's gonna be something. The two of them are a powerhouse. Genevieve Gluck is a brilliant human being. She is a brilliant woman. The stuff that she is doing, and she was explaining to me the sort of projects that she's got going on. Guys, no, trust me, I'm far from like the leader in this. There's amazing women, and I'm just grateful to be on the squad. I'm just happy to be here. The whole squad is here. I love seeing everybody show up. All right. Yeah, Genevieve is remarkable. Isn't she, Judy C? She's remarkable. Oh, God. I'm so proud of all of us. And I'm very sad what's been going on. But, all right. Yeah, exactly. I watch as the Watchman says Redux has the video of the TRA goon assaulting the poor man in blue. Okay, yeah, exactly. So we're going to go through Twitter tomorrow, and we're going to focus on Redux's Twitter feed and stuff and take a look at all those clips that they have. And this story is a big story, and this story is worth really getting into and really picking apart. So we're going to keep on this momentum, and tomorrow dive deeper and look at all of it, because this is revealing so much about this movement. About this trans agenda, about what this is really about. And this is going to pique a lot of people. But all right, guys, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for being here with me. I missed you guys while I was gone. I'm glad to be back. And yeah, I can't wait again. September 4th, Pittsburgh Speakers Corner. I'll be there. I am going to be driving in with Anna and Nikki. We're going to be carpooling, which I'm really excited to have another turf to carpool with. And yeah, you guys are the best. Chat, you guys, listen. To everybody in the chat, like I said, I recognize you guys, especially so many people who are always in the chat. People who are always not just in my chat, but in other chats. I love when I put up the streams of like Amy Souza's. I watch as the watch. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. I watch as the Watchman. Thank you. Good night. You guys, I seriously, like when I like look at other streams, like when I watch like Amy Known Heretic stuff, Amy Souza's stuff, and I see your guys' names in the chat, I'm like, yes, like the whole team is here. It's like the whole squad. I love the one thing, is cursed as this technology is, it's such a double-edged sword, because on the other hand, it connects us across space, across the world. We always have like Stone the Crone. Every time at night I'm like about to sign off, all of the Aussies come in, like all the Australians, like, good morning, and I'm like, no, it's bedtime, I'm going to sleep. And the Australians are all just waking up and getting their day started, but it's just really cool that we can connect. So all right, guys. All right. Oh, hey, Pearl. Hey, Pearl. Oh my God, Pearl, how horrifying is this? It's horrifying. It's horrifying, but it's inspiring and horrifying. I like keep pendulating between horror and like excitement and inspiration. So, Abel, good night, guys. Electric Fish Fan, good night, guys. I'm out of here. Um, Good night.